This is Joseph Darling from the Men of High Value channel. Today we're going to talk about automation. Okay, yesterday we talked a little bit about planning and focusing our energies. Well, today we're going to talk about automation. What do I mean? Okay, let's talk about passive income for a little brief second, and that will explain what I mean by automation. Passive income means that you basically have income that is working for you, whether you are present or not, which basically means that if you manage to replace yourself, okay, so usually a normal active income means that you physically have to be present, you have to be working in order to make money, But if you replace yourself either with systems or with people, you manage to replace yourself and it's still bringing money for them, right? So now it's active income for those people, or it's just a system, so you just basically have to pay for it perhaps. And then you get the extra amount, the profit on top of that, okay? So that's passive income, and it allows you to do a lot of other things other than having to be there physically present in order to make money at all times in all places. Now, in business, there's tons of ways to create passive income. Some guys online like Gary Vee and stuff like that is talking about like, no, there's no such thing as passive income. He's just confusing people because there's absolutely something called passive income. Now, does it last forever? Probably not. However, passive income can last for a very, very long time, depending upon how you build it and what type of business you are building. So that just explains passive income. It could be real estate, it could be multi-level marketing, it could be Amazon, there's a lot of different ways, trust me, to develop passive income, and you should know a lot about the subject. And if you do not, then check out Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki about how that works. So that's passive income. If you apply that to your planning, amazing things will happen. Okay, so think about this. In passive income, the cool part about it is that you develop a system that works with or without you. Once it's up and running, it's producing passive income for you. Now you don't have to be physically present, you're making money, and then you can move on to project number 2. Once you developed a passive income strategy for project number 2, once it's up and running and you've replaced yourself, now you can move on to project number 3. And guess what? You're getting paid from project number 1 and you're getting paid from project number 2. And then project number 3, now you build that up. And once you've replaced yourself there, guess what? You can move on to project number 4. Even if it's just $10, it's passive income from each of those projects. And imagine if there was $100 from each of those projects or $1,000. Eventually you will get to that point. If you understand business, no matter who you are, no matter race, no matter whatever, anyone can do this. You just have to understand it, okay? Just like the rich people who have a lot of money, if they were stripped of all of their money immediately right now and tomorrow they had nothing, because of the wisdom, because of the knowledge they've attained of how to acquire and create these projects and develop teams, they would be able to become multimillionaires within a few years, maybe even a few months, simply because of who they have become. This is what I want to help you understand as men of high value, to become amazing business owners. This is part of the Men of High Value community. It's part of the Men of High Value concept, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so passive income is a huge aspect of that. Back to priority planning. Imagine if you used routines and habits and made them passive so that you could focus on other habits. This is the importance of routines, which means, okay, if you have a set time that you go to sleep every single night, and you've got a set time to wake up every single day, guess what? You don't have to think about it. You don't have to like, when should I go to sleep? I should just watch this extra movie. Or, when should I wake up in the morning? And you kind of like scrolling on your alarm. When should I wake up? I wonder. Or you basically have an A4 life, which basically means that you have to wake up at this specific moment every single day. If you have that, that's fantastic. And you want to have that even when you don't have a full-time job. You want to be able to wake up the same time every single day as an automatic routine. It's a habit, something you do again and again and again. Because once it's a habit, it's working for you. It's like passive income. You want to have habits like that that just work for you all the time so that you can move on to the next project. And the next project will be another habit. Does that make sense? So let's say the next habit is your morning routine. You have certain things that you do every single morning, no matter how you feel, no matter what day it is, no matter what. It's what you do. It's your morning routine. It's passive. Do you understand? The moment you manage to put your priorities as a passive habit, just like passive income, a project, it's giving you energy, it's giving you whatever you want it to give you, right? And then you move on to the next project or the next routine, the next habit, and then you get that installed, and then you move on to the next habit. This can be done in terms of relationships, it can be done in health, it can be done in business. Amazing things can happen to you if you start applying this passive habit system that I basically am mentioning to you guys right now. So, after that morning routine, you should have the one thing. There's a great book. I haven't read it actually, but I understand the concept. And it's called Eat That Frog. And from what I've heard, it's a fantastic book, but I haven't read it, so I can't really say anything else about it. But anyway, what it's about is basically doing the hardest thing first thing in the morning, which means right after you've woken up, right after you've done your morning routine, the first thing you do is the thing that you hate doing the most, or that you don't want to do, you don't feel like doing it ever, but you know it needs to get done in order for you to progress in your life. Let's say, for example, sales calls. That would build your business. It would give you sales. It would give you whatever you need to get done. You do that first thing in the morning, which means that no matter how the rest of the day transpires, you have the most important habit in place in order for your life and your business to progress. So one of my clients basically has that right now as his thing. He makes one sales call in the morning, and then he sends me a text message that he's actually done that, even if it's just one sales call. Do you understand? Of course, he does more than one sales call, but it's the principle. If he gets that one thing done, and he keeps that habit forever and ever, he will become a rich man. It's physically not possible if you contact someone every single day to sell them something that they need or that they potentially need. If you just keep that habit, you will get rich. There's no other way about it, because eventually it'll become an automatic routine that you do every single day. And then you're like, why am I not doing 2 phone calls a day? Why am I not doing 10 phone calls a day, which takes about half an hour? Why am I not doing 20? You understand the point? Eventually it becomes a passive habit, a routine that you do every single day, rain or shine, doesn't matter. You can apply this to going to the gym. It's just something you do. It's just an automatic habit. And if you do that every single day, guess what? It is impossible for you, no matter what you eat, to get fat. It's impossible. Now, what you eat is 80%, right, of your weight gain or weight loss, okay? So it's a very important thing, but I'm just saying in terms of principle, it's a passive habit if you do it every single day. This is the importance of routines, guys. Bringing it back to our fantastic principles of semen retention. Semen production is something that is a passive habit that you want to have in your life, that is working on its own automatically, that doesn't need to get tampered with. And if you ejaculate, if you masturbate and ejaculate, then that process is going to be kind of like, oh, well, we need to produce more, or there's something going on here and we need to like get things rolling. And it's like, you don't want that. You want it to be an automatic passive thing that doesn't get jolted or changed or needs to adapt or something, whatever. Do you understand? You wanna make sure that it's an automatic habit and it just works on its own. It's a passive. Get it? The more passive, awesome habits you have in your life that just work on their own, you don't have to think about it, the more you will achieve in your life. Set in those routines. Your life is going to change. This is what I did a couple of days ago. I basically took all of my commitments in my life right now. I wrote them huge on an A4 paper, one commitment per paper, and then drew a circle around it. And I ended up having like 9 commitments in my life that I need to get done, get focused on, get routines in. And I now have those papers, and whenever I'm kind of lost, I'm not sure what's happening with my days and my routines and stuff like that, I just put those papers out in front of me on the floor, and then I look at it, and then I begin to prioritize. It's priority planning of which habits need to come first so that they can be automated and they can work in the background, work on their own, and then I move on to the next project and it works on its own, and then I move on to the next project and it works on its own, and I keep going until everything's automatic in my life. Guess what happens eventually? You eventually get money flowing to you consistently and continuously without you even having to think about it, because it's just automated. It just works. This will also give you the mindset to also develop systems in such a way that women naturally approach you. Instead of you approaching women, guess what? There's systems in place. There's habits in place. You talking to women there and you talking to women there, and automatically they're just coming into your life. And then you get to choose the best one. You understand what I mean? This is how it works with the right kind of people. You want millionaires to approach you and talk to you about their projects and their ideas, and you can invest together with them. Guess what? You've got habits in place that are automatic. They will just keep on coming to you. And you get richer and richer and richer, and everything's becoming more abundant in your life. And guess what? Suddenly, you have a fantasy life that you would have never expected. And it all came about because your mindset changed and you started implementing these passive habits into your life. I'm passionate about this. Semen retention is only the beginning. I'm taking you on this path that's going to change and revolutionize your entire life, your entire thinking. And we're doing it one freaking day at a time. This is Joseph Darling, Men of High Value channel. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.